Okay, so my name is Filip. I'm 18 years old and I'm finishing my high school in Kamnik. Uh, my friends and my girlfriend actually say I have a problem with Kamnik because I speak too much about it, but I think it's the best city in the world, so I have to mention it a little bit. So my hobbies are running, playing volleyball, playing clarinet, going to mountains, and I'm very lucky because right here in Kamnik we have a lot of beautiful mountains right there where you can't see them. But yeah, um, in my family, my parents divorced a long time ago, so I don't remember a lot. But now I have two sisters. Technically, one is half sister, but I just call her sister because I think that's the best, and I like them all. And yeah, I think we're a happy family, and I'm very lucky to live here where I do because I have perfect school, a lot of company, a lot of options to do a bunch of different sports, and till now I only had great company growing up, so I'm really grateful the life I had till now. One of the first things I remember is that people said that I got angry very fast, which is very funny to me now because I've become a ginormous pacifist, and for the last 4 years that I visited high school, I don't think anybody has seen me become angry, like ever. But when I was young, I used to have a problem with becoming angry. So it was definitely a happy childhood. My family comes from a different part of Slovenia called Steiermark. And we used to go up there every weekend, and I even got that Steyr accent and stuff. But then as me and my sister grew older, we were like, no, we want to stay here. We have friends and school and everything here. So we still go there almost every week or every second week, but it's like 1.5 hour drive. So to me, it's more convenient to stay here in my childhood. I used to spend probably a lot of time indoors, not so much outside, just playing with Legos, and tractors and the good stuff. But then, ironically, when the coronavirus came, I started going out instead of inside, and then really started hanging out with friends, playing volleyball, basketball, and I became much more sporty type of person when the lockdown started. Maybe an interesting experience was, or a group of experience, that I used to have enormous fear of heights. Like when I would go up to towers, the metal ones that shake a little bit, it was awful. But then my family took me a lot to the mountains where we also went climbing. Yeah, I also trained climbing. I love climbing. So as we went on more and more tours, I slowly got rid of the fear. You can get rid of a lot of fears, but maybe putting yourself in the outside of the comfort zone. For other fears, maybe, no, the better one would be a fear of, how would I say, putting myself out there, or asking, random people stuff. Because when you're an introvert at the start, it's like you don't want to bother anybody, you don't want to ask anybody anything. But then as I grew up, I started to realize that people really don't care that much about you, and you can do a lot, and people will only care more about themselves than you. And it's really not that big of a deal to just ask something. Can we pay the bill? Can I get a glass of water? And a lot of times people are actually really happy if you talk to them, if you communicate. And because I have a girlfriend that lives in Celje, or now she's in Ljubljana studying in college, I have to drive a lot with the bus. And for a lot of times now, I noticed that if I talk to the people on the bus, mostly older people, because young people are always on the headphones and on the phone, but you can have really interesting conversations that can just start with, hello, how are you, where are you going? And then you can really meet a lot of cool people just by stepping out of your comfort zone. And people, oftentimes, they're really not gonna judge you that much. You just be yourself, I would say. In my younger childhood, I used to have like 2 or 3 friends, and we would hang out a lot and stuff, but I really didn't look out for more company. And my sister was actually the one that took me along with her friends, even though they were 3 years older. Then, I don't know, I think on the playground, because we went out and enjoyed the playground, I noticed that sadly, it's easier to maybe join a company when there's already somebody else that people make fun of, which is really not healthy or good, but because then you know you're safe. And I don't know, yeah, probably just hang out a lot more, and definitely saying like doing projects like working on campus with people speaking other languages, doing presentation in school. I don't know how much you have, but by now we have to do a lot of presentations in school. And I do still have the habit that I get very nervous before something, if it's really not an important thing. It can be like a run with kindergarteners, and it's really not a competition, but I will get an anxiety. It can be like just presentation, semi-presentation, not even for a grade with a professor, but I will often get very stressed out and started blabbering nonsense and forgetting stuff. But till now, I think the thing that helped me the most was definitely talking or joining stuff that interests me. Because, for example, one of the best presentations I have, and the easiest one, was about geography, about island formation. And I know I came with a Hawaiian t-shirt and a hat, you know, the fedora. And because I talked about a topic that interests me, because I was just in something comfortable and funny, it was really not hard to give the presentation because people were laughing, but in a good way, if you know what I mean. So currently, I think I do know myself, but I think that I keep changing. Like if I would speak to myself from 5 years ago, I would definitely not know that I will be where I am right now and how I would think, how I would act. I definitely changed. And now I think I do know myself, probably not the best because I know I will keep changing. And sometimes I still wonder if my future is the right thing to do. If I may be a bit too nice because I usually don't get angry, I don't get angry with people. So sometimes I do still wonder, am I a bit too nice? Should I step out a bit more? Should I be no, stop, that's not okay with me, don't do that? And should I maybe think more on myself? Because I'm not like a saint or anything, I'm really not. But I do know a lot of people and I do have a lot of hobbies, and sometimes it's hard to take time for yourself because I want to go running with that guy, then I want to go to mountains, then somebody else invite me to fitness, then of course I want to see my girlfriend, then I want to spend time with my family. So sometimes I ask, maybe I should say no to a bit more stuff just to have time for myself and to enjoy stuff that I might enjoy. But then again, it's always fun to be with people, to explore new stuff, and yeah. So to be a better person, I think I should definitely plan a bit more. I already plan a lot because I'm actually a very analog person. I don't get along with technology. I just don't get it, it's too hard for me. So I have a notebook, a physical notebook, and I have all my plans there. But yeah, it probably be setting the boundaries, as you said, saying no to some stuff. Definitely not this conversation and meeting new people, but maybe to activities I already do a lot, I can maybe limit them a bit more, or accept that I'm getting older and that maybe it's okay to not spend so much time with my family all the time and so on. But again, I don't know where's the limit between being selfish, just wanting more time for yourself, and how much you should cancel each other, because yeah. Then again, when I in the mountains running, I maybe feel like free in my mind, because when you go to mountains you're alone, you have the beautiful views, you can really think about stuff a lot, and usually the walks can be like up to 6 hours, so you have time to think about stuff, to overthink things. And then just today actually, because we're finishing school, yeah, I thought like, you know what, I'm quite proud on what I have become. I'm proud on my grades. I know I have a lot of friends. I think most of the people in my class, I'm a very positive person that can come to school at 5 a.m. and still be happy and jumping around. I think I'm proud on what I've achieved so far when it comes to relations, to having friends, to accomplishments. Even if I'm not perfect at one thing, I think I'm quite a good, happy person, I would say. Kamnik, for me, it means two things. One can be geographical, because I have mountains around me, I have nature, I have parks, and yeah, I know there are a bunch of places when I can go and hide myself and have my peace, when I can go running, when I can go play volleyball, when I can do basically all my hobbies. And also we have music school here, high school, climbing club, so Kamnik really enabled me to get so far, where maybe some smaller villages wouldn't get me so far. The bigger cities would bring another problems. But the second one would be people here, because here I have my family. Like my wider family lives in Steyr, but my dad, my mom, her dad's girlfriend, my both sister still live here. All of my friends live here. Here I have Godba, which is a brass band, in which I've been playing for about 4 years now. And it really helped me to excel and continue playing clarinet. I'm not that good, but excel in the way I'm better than I was before. Here I also have, I play with my parents, actually with my dad and his friends. I play volleyball on Tuesdays. And then on Fridays, I play with my friends in Commando. So here really allowed me to explore all my hobbies and free times activities. And here I also have the places when I can talk to people, meet the people I need, and I know the places I can move to get some peace, some silence to earn. So it's not a specific place, but Kamnik in this region is really like the perfect place for me, to be honest. I don't want to bore other people with my problems. Talking about my problems would definitely be one thing, because for me it's much easier to hear others about their problems, trying to advise them and so on. But to open myself, it's a lot hard, because I think why are you boring them? They don't want to hear about this. Even if they are like my closest friends, and they still shouldn't be a problem to them. Yeah, I think sometimes I'm just complaining. In my head, I'm like, why are you complaining so much? It's okay, it's stupid. So it's hard to talk about this really deep stuff with friends, because yeah, I'm usually the upkeep fun person that's trying to be positive. And I also do it to myself. Like maybe I don't deal with the stuff so often, because when something bad happens, I'm like, it's okay, it's gonna be better. It has happened already. If it's a bad guy, then I can do nothing. I will learn more. But yeah, when it comes to bad problems or things, I usually try to not ignore them, but say like, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be better. It has happened. Try to prevent it from happening again. So maybe talking about my problems a bit more would be helpful, but till now it hasn't been a problem so much that it would learn me why I should do that more. I mean, I know that toxic positivity exists, so that's what I'm afraid of, that I should maybe think a bit more about some stuff, the problems that are. But then again, when it comes, I think I have a positive view on the world, and if you have positive view, if you meet somebody new already, he's a great guy, and you keep looking positive on everything, then from my experience, the world will be getting positive to you. I'm usually try to be kind to people, even if they are not to me. Maybe it could be gaslighting yourself, but in the end, it's also kind of like true, because I think we have a saying in Slovenian, don't cry over spilled milk. And I think it really is true. You definitely shouldn't ignore them, because then you're not going to learn anything from it. But when something bad happens, looking on the positive side can definitely move you along the grieving process, the getting over it and stuff. Currently, there are some understandings and misunderstandings, or not misunderstanding, but it's hard because of my view on family, on Kamnik. I really like want to spend a lot of time here and live here, and that's gonna be a bit hard to some others who want to hang out a lot with me and maybe explore some other cities, live somewhere else. So a lot during maybe the last few months, I sometimes felt like people don't understand what Kamnik means to me, which again, not in specifically city, but all the things that Kamnik offers to me. But then I know I called my friend, because he was in a similar situation, and I asked him, what do you think about this topic? Am I irrational? Am I overthinking this? And I just obsessed with Kamnik for no reason. Am I the problem? And then he was like, no, I understand, you have family, you have hobbies, you have almost everything you have is connected to Kamnik, so I think it's not that big of a deal. And that really helped a lot because I knew he was in a similar situation, so I knew I could ask him, and he's my good friend. And hearing stuff I was already telling myself from another person and from a bit of a different perspective really helped a lot. Actually, the thing that helps me the most is looking forward to happy things. Right now, for example, we've been finishing school kind of like we'll finish with our lessons on Friday, and then we will finish with our final exams in like a month or so. But anytime there's a stressful situation or something like that, what keeps me happy is to keep looking forward in a way. And it can be on a really small scale, like again, it can be like just another hour that doesn't count, and just this, and I'm free. And it can be even about a few months. You can be like, okay, but this week this will maybe go a bit long, but then this will be fast, and so on. So definitely splitting the harder things into small ones and then looking forward to the good parts. Yeah, I think other people definitely affect your hobbies, for instance, because I didn't used to play any sports, but then when I started going out with friends, they changed me into that. I think people affect what our hobbies are and stuff like that. Then also definitely our views on political things, on religion, on life beliefs. I think people and our connections affect all of that, because I know I'm an atheist, I don't believe in God, but I have many Christian friends, and knowing a lot of them definitely helped me change my view to they are not just stupid people, they're very smart people, they just think differently, and a lot of time they are very logical, they just have a different view, and that's completely okay. So changing your views. And for the last one, you said if I affected on any of them, I would say I definitely did. And for one example specifically, I know I had a friend, he's very strong, buff, but quiet and maybe a bit shy, but definitely doesn't show that kind of guy. But then seeing me talking a lot throughout the day and asking all kinds of stuff, I think he started to talk a lot more even himself, because I noticed that after we went on a lot of walks together and so on, he sometimes even asked things I usually ask. So yeah, I think we people help each other evolve, maybe see our mistakes. I think all of us crave connections. Even if we are very introverted or extroverted, I think everybody wants to have at least one person or somebody who would be there, who would sometimes laugh at their jokes, who would listen to them, who would ask them about how is their day or something like that. Yeah, definitely friendships, that we all long for, friendships, maybe love, and that kind of stuff. And that I think that most people are not trying to harm each other intently, but maybe they do it because they were socialized that way. Maybe they feel endangered and they feel they're safer if they are the one who attack, or they feel they are judged by others. But I think that nobody is born evil or wanting to do bad things, and there are very few people who want to harm innocent people specifically just to be like, to go to somebody and be like, I want to be rude to you, I want to harm you. But most of the time I think it's just they are having a bad day. You don't know what's happening to them. Maybe they don't know, they saw you do something, they understood you something. And there are examples of people intentionally harming. There were, of course, terrorist attacks and other massacres. But I think for most people don't want to harm each other. And a lot of time it is done unintentionally. I think they are inherently good, but I think, unfortunately, in these times, there's a lot of hatred and fear spread across the internet and around politics, especially because I know here, for example, there's a lot about immigrants. We don't want foreigners, they are bad, they have other religions, and people don't know them, and a lot of times they fear them because they are gonna attack me, they are gonna want to force their living style on me. But yeah, I think that people are good, but in this time they are scared because there's a lot of misinformation around. people don't trust governments anymore, they don't trust nothing they can see because there are so many fake news. That maybe the biggest problem today, I would say, people have trust issues. On a humanitarian level, I guess, I would say we are all definitely equal, just trying to survive in the world. We want to make our life happy. We don't want to harm people, and we all have identity. We all have some kind of hobbies. We all need to have some relations, because I think if a person would be completely isolated for its whole life, it wouldn't become a person anymore. It would almost become like an animal, because it wouldn't have the language, the culture, the bonds, and stuff like that. So I think it's the culture, the bonds, the knowledge, definitely the knowledge we have, because the fact that we know so many stuff, that we have experts on so many fields, that we can go into biology and like read 10,000 books and still won't know everything. It's definitely amazing. I know a lot of people are searching for a meaning in their life. I actually don't search for a meaning in my life, because I think life is already happy, and you live it as you live it, and you're not supposed to stress over what you should achieve, like complete life goal. But definitely people are searching, a lot of people are searching for life goals, and often people are searching for love. A lot of them are searching for money, or I think that's quite an empty motive, because it won't bring you happiness, connections, and probably a place to fit in, because that's the place where you usually feel the safest, where you feel accepted and wanted. So my goal would definitely be to have a family, to be with my girlfriend, to keep in touch with my friends. It would be to keep as many friends as I can, because right now I'm in a period where I will change school. I will start to drive to Ljubljana for school, and people will change. I'll probably lose contact with a lot of them as they'll go to different schools and everything. But I want to keep in touch with people. I want to keep in touch with my family. I really like them, and I want to stay close with them even after I move out. I hope to be successful in my job, but to still not be completely consumed by it. Maybe even though I'm going to construction, which is technically like very technical school, physics, maths, and the boring subjects, I want to keep in touch with music, maybe with history, with language. I definitely hope to go on an exchange. My current goal would be to go to Germany again, or Austria, after I finish with my education, and to go there for a longer period, maybe even 9 months, I'm not sure yet. I want to go there and to learn the language and to see how it is to live in another country. Because when I was younger, I definitely thought I want to move to a big city in another country and so on. But now I don't think I want to do that, but I still want to get the experience of living in another country. Yeah, probably to keep healthy, to keep friends, maybe to become a bit more confident person, standing up for myself a bit more, to organize my time a bit better. But life could go on as it is, and I would be completely happy, to be honest.